Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what do I truly believe? Not what you say you believe, not what you hope to believe or hope is true, but what do you truly believe? What is your decisions that you make every day reveal to you about what you believe? Because a belief is not just an agreement with an idea. It is the lens in which you see yourself, in which you see other people, in which you see your circumstances, your future, right? So, like we talked about yesterday, if you believe that you're unworthy, then you will settle for less than what you're capable of. If you believe that you will fail, then you won't even start. But if you believe that you were made with purpose, if you believe that your life is meaningful and that your future is not dictated by your past mistakes, then you'll start to make the decisions that is in alignment with that truth, right? So if you haven't figured it out by now, today's word of the day is belief. Let's get into it because we're talking about Mark 9 and 23 today. And it says, if you can believe, all things are capable to him who believes, right? And a lot of times this verse is used as a quote and it's quoted by itself, but the storyline around this verse is what makes the meaning so powerful, basically, right? And it's about a dad who brings his son to Jesus because he's been sick for quite some time. He's been sick for a few years. And the disciples has came to help him, but they nothing changed. She didn't get any better. And at this point, the daddy is at his wit's end because it's been so much disappointment that the disappointment has weakened his expectations of his son getting any better, right? So he goes to Jesus and tell him, if you can do anything, have some compassion with us and help us, right? And if you think about it, listen to the first word he said. He said, if. He said, if you can do anything, right? That shows lack of belief. So Jesus turns around and responds to him and says, if you can believe, right? So the issue wasn't whether or not Jesus was able to. The question was if the dad could trust anything outside of what he could see. Could he trust anything beyond his eyesight, his 3D reality, right? And that's a good question. We should ask ourselves that. Can you trust anything beyond your eyes, what your eyes can't see? A lot of people say that seeing is believing, but I believe that believing is seeing. As above, so below. And what makes this moment so powerful is that Jesus didn't require him to have a perfect faith. He just required him to have honest faith. He went back, the dad went back and prayed and said, Lord, I believe. He said, help my unbelief. So he's telling the Lord that I believe over here. I believe of this right here, but help me with what I don't believe as well, right? And many people think that belief means never having any doubts. And that's not true. That's not true because biblical belief isn't just pretending never to struggle, right? It's choosing to trust even though we're still growing. It's choosing to trust even though we can't see the things working out for us around us. Okay? The good news is, though, that beliefs can be changed. They're not set in stone, they're not fixated, right? Just because you believe something for so many years doesn't mean that you'll believe it forever or that you have to believe it forever, right? So let's talk about reprogramming our beliefs. The first thing we got to do is identify the belief. Everything starts with awareness. Awareness is what what everything begins with, okay? We got to ask ourselves, what do I keep telling myself? What is the story that I keep telling myself? And maybe that's I'm not good enough. Or maybe that's people always leaving me, right? Or I'll never get ahead, or nothing ever works out for me. I want you to pay attention to the beliefs, those thoughts, those negative thoughts that repeat themselves, okay? Because repeated thoughts are what often becomes the deeply rooted beliefs. Okay. So keep a notepad. That's normally what I do. I keep one in my purse sometimes and in my car as well, and a pen. And I write down the things that I have constantly coming through my mind that is not conducive to where I'm going. And when I have the time, I create that. And most of the time, a lot of times, it's good to create the new affirmation immediately. Once you realize that this is a repeated affirmation, this is a repeated belief that is not conducive to where I'm going, I need to change it right now. Let's do that immediately because that's the next step, right? We have to replace that lie with the truth. Okay? We got to replace the lie with the truth. We can't simply just get rid of a belief. We have to replace it with something. Romans 8:28 reminds us that all things are working together for the good of those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose, right? So maybe you've believed that your life is falling apart. Replace that with everything is always working out for me, even when it doesn't seem like it, even when it doesn't look like it, right? Maybe you believed that you've made too many mistakes in life, right? Replace that with God can redeem every single chapter of my story. I am not my past. Because truth is what weakens the power of the lie. The more you tell yourself the truth, it weakens the power of that lie. That lie starts to dissipate, it starts to go away. Remember, repetition is key. Your mind is shaped off of repetition. Okay? You have probably repeated those limiting beliefs 33 years. I'm 33, that's why I say 33, but you've probably been repeating those limiting beliefs for years and years without even realizing it, right? Now, now that we are aware of it, we can now take the time to intentionally repeat the truth in which we want to replace that lie with. We can speak it. We can continue to write it down. We can pray it, right? Like the dad did. He prayed it. I believe. Help me with my unbeliefs, right? Meditate on that. Meditate on that. And we want to live as though it is true, which is means to act like you believe it. Okay? And this is where the transformation happens. Okay? I want y'all to hear this. Act like you believe it. Faith isn't just believing something in your mind, it's living through it, right? Faith without works is dead. It's living though as is true, living as though it is true. If you believe God has purpose for your life, take the first step towards it. Your actions are what reinforces your beliefs. Remember this every time you replace a lie with God's truth, you're renewing your mind. Okay? You're moving closer to the person you were created to become. So today I want y'all to identify one of those beliefs that have been controlling you, that have been controlling your life. And I want you to write it down. Okay? Then I want you to ask yourself these questions. Is the belief producing hope or fear? Right? Is it moving towards my purpose or is it keeping me back? Is it keeping me behind? And what I want you to do is Don't just challenge the habits, right? Because a lot of times we can get those mixed up. Don't challenge the habits. Challenge the beliefs behind the habits. Why is this a habit? What do I believe to where I do this habit, to where this became a habit? And why do I say this? Because when beliefs change, behavior eventually follows after. So change that belief and turn it into a powerful affirmation. Like today, I choose to believe truth over fear. Or I believe I was created with purpose. Remember this if you don't remember nothing else. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your choices become your habits become your character, and your character is what shapes your future. So if you want a different future, don't begin by trying to force different actions. Begin by asking God to transform what you believe. Because when your beliefs change, your life begins to follow. So believe the truth. Believe that transformation is possible, okay? And never underestimate what God can do through a life that chooses to believe. I love y'all. If this video helped y'all, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below what beliefs are challenging your life today. Okay? Make sure y'all are writing in your journals. Write this down because writing is powerful, okay? I love y'all. Until next time, peace.